Hello everyone and welcome to Learn with Saad. In this video you are going to learn about all equations, one-step equations, two-step equations, rearranging the formula, and we will use all the rules what we use for equations for all the topics which we are going to cover. So please make sure you pay full attention from the very start. First, what are equations? Equations are made up of two expressions separated by an equal sign. So this is an equation we have here, separated by an equal sign. Equations contains an unknown variable usually shown by a letter. In this equation we have an unknown variable x here. To solve an equation, what we need to do is we need to have the x on its own on one side of the equation. So there are two sides, one is the left hand side, the other one is the right hand side. So x minus 13 equals to 5. So this side, the side on the left of an equal sign, is called left hand side. We can call it left hand side. And the side which is on the right side is called right hand side. Please remember, in solving equation, whenever you take anything which has a plus or a minus sign, whenever you take anything from one side to other, from left hand side to right hand side, the positive sign, the plus sign, will become negative. Similarly, the negative sign, this negative sign, if we take it on the right side, will become positive. There are two ways to solve them. I'm going to show you both ways. First, I'm going to tell you an easier method which you're going to need to use it for the remaining topics as well. So whenever you take anything from the left side to right side, please remember, if it has a positive sign, then it will become negative. Let's say, for instance, if you go 2x equals to 6x plus 3. Let's say this is an equation we have. So if we take 6x from right hand side to this side, it will become minus 6x equals to plus 2x equals to 3. So I brought 6x from this side to right side to left side, so and then I had to change positive 6x to negative 6x, because whenever I take anything from one side to other side, from right hand side to left hand side, or from left hand side to right hand side, I need to change the sign. One more example. So let's say if I need to take minus 18 to the other side in order to solve it, so I will do 6x equals to x plus 18. So this minus 18 will change it to plus 18 because I'm moving it from left side to right side. And this x, let's suppose if I need to take it to the left side now. So this is positive x. If there is no sign in front of a term, it means it carries an invisible positive sign. So it would be 6x, positive x will become minus x equals to 18. So please always remember this rule. Whenever you take anything in equation from one side to another side, you got to change the sign of it. In this example, you can say from left side minus 18 to the right side, it became plus 18. Same for the x, it was positive x on the right side. When I take it on the other side, 6x minus, it becomes x, the sign changes. So let's come to this question now. So we have x minus 13 equals to 5. In order to solve it, we need to have x on one side of the equation. We need to take all the other terms on the other side of the equation. That's the process. So x minus 13, what we would do, we need to take minus 13 to the other side, right, which is right hand side. So x equals to 5 minus 13 will change to plus 13. X equals to 18. That would be our answer. The same question you can do it with another method which you guys usually do it in school, but I don't recommend it because most of the students end up making mistakes. It's basically, in order to solve it, what we do, we x minus 13, what we need to do for this one is basically add the term plus 13 on both sides. 5 plus 13, so minus 13 plus 13 cancels, you have x equals to 18. So that's another method to solve it as well. It's up to you. For one step equation, it's okay, you can use that, but when you're gonna do multi-step or two-step, it's gonna get really difficult for you using this method. So I highly recommend, please use my method or an easier method or more accurate method to learn equations. It's basically whenever you take anything from one side to another, which has any term which has a positive or a negative sign, what you need to do is simply change the sign. Easy peasy, no rocket science in it. So please keep this in mind. Positive becomes negative and negative becomes positive. We did with positive and negative terms so far. What about when the terms are timings with each other? Like here 5 is timings with x. In order to now solve it, before we had 5x plus 2 equal to 6, let's suppose, and what we were doing, got to take this term on the other side, 5x equal to 6 minus 2. So we were dealing with positive addition and subtraction things. Now we have multiplication part. Now here 5 is timing with x on left hand side. So what we need to do, if anything is multiplication is taking place, we need to divide everything with whatever number we have on the right hand side. So 5x equals to 2. What we would do, we will divide 5 is timings with x here. We would divide the right hand side with 5. So now everything, whatever we have with everything on the right hand side, so x equals to 2 over 5. Once again, 5 is timings with x on left side. In order to solve this equation, have x on its own on one side of the equation, we need to divide 5 with 2 on the right hand side. So whenever multiplication is taking place on the one side, what we will do, we will now divide everything on right hand side with 5. So 5 x equals to 2, then x would be equals to 2 over 5. So that's how you're gonna solve an equation which includes multiplication. Same now when it comes to anything which is in division form. So 5 is divided by, it's x divided by 5. So what we do when we have division, we do the opposite. So we will multiply everything with 5 on right hand side. So this one would be minus x equals to 2 times 5. So now we are dividing, if it's denominator, if anything in denominator, please times it with the numerator on the other side. So minus x equals to 2 times 5, which is 10. Pretty straightforward. So if anything is in the denominator, what you can do, you can times it with the numerator on the other side. Or it's in division, you can just times and multiply everything on the other side with 5. Now here are some questions for you. 40 equals to 120. So now I have mixed all these things up. So when you have a positive plus k, positive or negative one, what you do, you take the everything on the other side and just change the sign of it. When it's timing, like 40 equals to 120 here, what you would do is basically you can do t equals to 120 divided by 4. Why I'm dividing 4 with 120 is because if 4 is timings with t on one side, So what you need to do, please divide 120 with 4 and then you get the answer. When it's addition and subtraction, like plus 62, I need to find the unknown variable, which is a in this case. I'll take 62 on the other side. It will become a equals to 75 minus 62. And then that would be, you just simplify it and it becomes your answer. If anything is in the denominator in this question number 10, I need to find the value of x. What you do, like I told you before, you're gonna just simply times the denominator with the numerator on the right hand side. X equals to 5 times 15. So basically 2-3 rules you need to keep in your mind is when you have a positive expression or you need to solve it, just take it on the other side and change the sign. If the term is timings 4 here, in this case we divide it on the other side. If it's in the denominator in division, we multiply it on the other side. Please try to do all these questions yourself, please. Now we're going to do the two steps equation. In two steps equation, what we would do, we would just do more than one step which we were doing previously. And this one, first what we do is basically we're gonna times minus 3 with w, which makes it minus 3w. This minus 3 with minus 95 then, which makes it plus 985 equals to 15. What we would do now is we basically get this 3w term on one side and anything and everything which we have on the other side next to the unknown variable term, we try to take it on the other side. Minus 3w equals to 15. This is plus 985. It will become minus 985. The answer we would get is minus 970. Now we need just w. Minus 3 is timings with w. I'm gonna time minus 970 with minus 3, w as it is, which gives us w equals to 323.33. So the minus and minus sign will cancel with each other, and then we have w equals to 323.3. So what we did in this one, first we solved this, expanded this bracket. After that we had minus 3w plus 985. So we try to get the terms on one side, and 985 I took it on the other side. Had to change the sign because whenever you take anything from one side to another side, you got to change the sign. Let's solve this next question together as well. So first what we do, we will expand this bracket. 2 times x is 2x, and then 2 times 40 is plus 80. So I need, this is our unknown x term we need to find. What we do is we take everything next to it on the other side. So 42 minus 80 equals to 2x. What I did, I just brought 80 on the other side. 42 is 38 minus 38 equals to 2x. So 2x is timings here. So what, in order to find x, we divide minus 38 with 2. It gives us x equals to minus 19 as our answer. Now few more exam style questions. I'm gonna do it for you, so please make sure you pay full attention and take note of everything and do all these questions with me. So we have 3x minus 13 equal to 53 minus 20x. The first thing I'll try to do is to get the like term on one side. 3x minus 20x. So I'm going to bring 3x, this 20 minus 20x onto this side, which makes it plus 20x minus 13 equals to 53. So what I've done, I've just brought 20x on this side. It was minus 20. The signs are always to the left of the term, or a number or a digit or a variable, letter or an alphabet. The signs are always to the left of it. So minus 20x becomes plus 20x, then 3x plus 20x is 23x. Now what I'm gonna do with this one, minus 13, I'm gonna take it to the right side. 53 plus 13. So 53 plus 13. 53 plus 13 gives 66. So now 23x, I need to divide 66 with 23. X equals to 2.86. That would be our answer. Once again, what I did, I brought the like terms to one side, then took all the other terms to the other side of the equations, and then after that I found the unknown variable, the value of x, by dividing 66 with 23. Why? Because 23 is times x on one side. What we need to do is divide it on the other side. Now part C, we got g over 4 equals to 5 minus 4g. So first thing what I can do, 4 is in the denominator, I'm gonna times 4 with everything on the other side, which makes it g equals to 4 into 5 minus 4g. Next step is 4 times 5 is 20 minus 16g equals to g. And what I need to do, need to bring the like terms to one side together. G plus 16g equals to 20. G plus 16g is 17g equals to 20. 17 is timings with g, so what you do, what I told you, we just gonna divide it on the other side. 20 over 17. That would be our answer. If the same question, if I try to do it the other way, it's gonna take too long. You only need to keep in mind the 3-4 steps. If anything is timings on one side, and you take it on the other side, you divide it. Like in this one, 4 was in dividing with g. In order to solve it, I had to times everything on the other side. Like from denominator, we're gonna type everything, and then with the numerator on the other side with 4, and then you just simply simplify it, please. So you can do B and D yourself as well, please. It's pretty similar to the way I did part A and C for you. Here are some exam style questions. Please solve the following equations: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 9 using the method I've just explained it to you. If you have a positive term or a negative term, when you take it on the other side, you just need to change the signs. If anything is dividing with, which in question number 1 in this scenario, what you do, you times it when on the other side and do the relevant steps which I have advised you to do. Should be after doing that, please practice it couple of times so you get a full command on this topic. If the equation is given in the fraction form, what you do first is basically solve it using this method. So x over 8 plus x over 8, both denominators are same, so we can add x with x, which makes it 2x over 8 equals to 6. After that, I can times 8 with 6. 2x equals to 6 times 8. 2x equals to 48. Then find the value of x. We're going to divide 48 by 2. We will have 24 as an answer. So x equals to 24 as our answer. Please remember one thing. When you have two fractions, you can only, what you need to do is to basically make it a single fraction first, just like I did. We had two fractions before that. X over 8 is one fraction, and that's another x over 8, another fractions. What you need to do, make it a single fraction first, please. Then after that, whenever you have an equal sign, you can cross multiply them to x equal to 6 times 8, and then the other steps as well. For the next one, see, now we have different denominators, not like denominator fractions. So what first we do is we will make them into the same ones. 4 times 2 times 2 with the top and bottom. We will have 12x over 8 minus 3x over 8 equals to 3. Like denominators, we can just simply subtract the 12x from 3x. Gives us 9x over 8 equals to 3. So from two fractions, we simplify it to make it one fraction. And whenever you have an equal sign and two fractions on the other side, we can also write it as 3 over 1. Two fractions, we can always cross multiply them. 9x equals to 3 times 8. Or we can simply times 8 with 3. 9x equals to 24. And then x equals to 9 is time into that, we divide it on the other side. That would be our answer. Now we got one more different kind of equation to solve. Please always remember, when you have two single fractions, right now I have two single fractions with an equal sign in between them. You can simply basically cross multiply them, or multiply top of each fraction by the bottom of the other. So whenever you have two single fractions, so see, I've got only one line, x plus 4 over 6 is a one single fraction. On the other side, x minus 3 over 3, only one line, which also shows us that it's a single fraction. What you need to do in that case, with an equal sign in between it, you can always cross multiply them. That's one way. Or what you can do is you can multiply top of each number, each fraction by bottom of other. We can cross multiply them. 3 times x plus 4 equals, we're gonna times 6 with x minus 3. So this is what I've just did, this rule. Multiply top of each fraction by bottom of another. The top of this left hand side fraction is x plus 4. I times it, like multiply top of each fraction. This is top of a fraction with the bottom of the other. 3 is the denominator with the other, like denominator with the numerator and denominator with the numerator of the other fraction. 6 times x minus 3. Simply cross multiplication is taking place here. The next step we do is we just simplify it. 3 times x is 3x plus 12 equals to 6 times x is 6x, and then 6 times minus 3 is minus 18. After that, next step what we do is basically we're going to bring the x terms to one side, which is 6x and 3x in this case. So let's take 3x on the other side, which you have 6x. It's positive 3x. It will change it to minus 3x minus 18 equals to 12. 6x minus 3x gives us 3x. And this minus 18, I'm going to bring it on the other side with 12. Is 12 plus 18 gives me 20 equals to 3x. What we're going to do in the last step, we're going to divide 3, this 3 with 20 over 3 will be equal to x. This 3, we're just going to bring it here and divide it with it. That's how you solve the equations where you got two single fractions with an equal sign in between them. So you got some exam style questions, solve all these following equations for yourself. I'm just going to do one last one for you. So just like, please remember all the previous steps. So in this one, what we're going to do, x over 8 plus x over 4. So we got, what I would do is make it a one single fraction. How I can do it is basically I can times it top and bottom with 2, which gives us x over 8 plus 2x over 8 equals to 2 plus x over 6. Next step, x plus 2x is 3x over 8 equals to 2 plus x over 6. So see, what I did first is basically made two separate fractions into a single fraction, and now we have two fractions on each side with an equal sign, which allows me to cross multiply them. So 6 times 3x is 18x, and 8 times 2 plus x would be 16 plus x equals to 18. X, I'm going to bring the like term, which is x in this case, and 18x to one side. Next, this is one of the most important topic in maths and physics and chemistry as well. Rearranging the formulas. All we got to do is to apply all the rules, all the steps which I've told in equation sum. You got to apply all those methods or steps in rearranging a formula. What is rearranging? Making a particular letter the subject of the formula is called rearranging the formula. Like a particular letter, let's say for in this one, we need to make A as the subject of the formula. Like A should be equal to all the remaining terms. I'm going to solve this one for you. So please see, first I would do is any terms, I'll try to keep A term on one side and take all the terms which are next to A on the other side. So V minus U equals to 80. What I did, I brought positive plus U on the other side. So whenever we take anything from one side to another, we need to change the sign. So this minus sign belongs to U. So V minus U equals to 80. Now I need to have just A as the subject on one side of the equation. It can be on the left or on the right side. I need to get rid of this T. This T is timings with A. So whenever anything is timings with any other terms, what you do, you divide it on the other side, or if it's divide it with on the other side. So V minus U over, so this T equals A. So this T I divide with every single thing on the other side. Then we have A equals to V minus U over T. You can also write it like A equals to V minus U over T. It is the same thing. So this is how you do rearranging of the formulas using the rules I have explained you before. One more question, I'm going to do it for you. See here, you got this formula, which is area of a triangle. Area of triangle. Yeah. We now A equals to half base times height. So what this is, B stands for base and H stands for height. Okay. So what we will do first, same rules. They're asking us to make H as the subject. So we need to have H as the subject. What I would try to do, take all the other things which is next to the H on the other side. So what we can do in this first case, we have we can times this 2 is in denominator, we can times 2 with a. 2a equals to b times h, and then we need to find h. Whatever next to h, we will try to get rid of it. 2a, so b is timings, this b is timing to that, is timing on this side. What we would do, we would divide it on the other side. So b, this b comes down equals to h. So that's how you find or make h as the subject of this expression. You can also write it as h equals to 2a over b, which is the same thing. So all same steps. Please, if you get stuck or you struggling to do it, go back to the very start of the video, start practicing, listen to my every single instruction which I'm giving to you in this video, then you wouldn't have any problems. Please practice it minimum 3 to 4 times, because you're gonna use all these equations, expression, rearranging the formula, not only in maths but also in physics. So this first one, v equals to u plus at, is a physics formula. You're gonna study mostly in A levels or sometimes in IGCSE's papers as well.
Make y the subject of the following next 11 questions.